It started with a single notification. Just one. You've been tagged in a photo. Mia's thumb hovered over her phone screen as she sat alone in the school cafeteria. The noise of laughter, trays clattering, and the chatter of her classmates faded into the background. She clicked the notification, and her world collapsed. There it was. A photo of her, horribly edited, circulating across every group chat and social feed in Lincoln High. Someone had taken her yearbook picture and twisted it into a cruel, unrecognizable version of her, exaggerated features, dark circles, and a mocking caption written in red. Lincoln's unpublishable girl. The laughter started almost instantly. She could hear it even when no one was near her. Whispers in the hallways. Glances that turned into giggles. Even the teachers seemed to notice but didn't know what to say. Mia wasn't the kind of girl who stood out. She was quiet, always the one sketching alone by the window, with long dark hair that she often used to hide her face. But this made her the center of attention in the worst possible way. That night, she locked herself in her room. Her mother knocked on the door, worried, but Mia couldn't open it. She just sat there in the dark, scrolling through comments that stabbed like knives. Who even let her take that picture? Photoshop gone wrong. She looks like a meme. And worst of all, the post had been made by someone from her own class. By morning, the entire school knew. When she walked into first period, silence fell for a second, then someone laughed. That sound was all it took for her to feel her throat tighten and her eyes sting. She wanted to disappear. As the week went by, a rumor began spreading that the photo wasn't even real. Some students started wondering who had done it. Others didn't care, they just enjoyed the entertainment. But one person did care. Eli Turner. He wasn't Mia's friend, not yet. He sat 2 rows behind her in art class, usually lost in his own world of paint and pencil sketches. But he had noticed her, the way she drew quietly, with patience and detail, like the rest of the world didn't exist. When he saw the post, something inside him boiled. He'd seen the original photo, the one that was supposed to go into the yearbook. It wasn't edited. It was beautiful. Mia had that calm, artistic kind of beauty that didn't need filters or makeup. Whoever did this had crossed a line. Eli decided to find out who. He began by talking to friends who managed the yearbook club's shared drive. He learned that only a handful of people had access to the unedited portraits. He quietly checked the school network's upload history and traced where the file had come from. The truth made his stomach drop. The post came from Lydia Crane's IP address. Lydia was one of the most popular girls in school, captain of the cheer team, always surrounded by friends and social media followers. But behind her perfect smile was a ruthless streak. She'd always disliked Mia for no real reason, maybe because Mia never tried to fit in, never played their games. Eli didn't confront her directly. Instead, he screenshotted the logs, the file history, and quietly emailed them to the principal, with a simple note. This is what happened to Mia. When the principal called Lydia and her parents in for a meeting, the entire school buzzed with speculation. Mia didn't know about any of it, until that afternoon. She was sitting under the oak tree near the parking lot, sketchbook in hand, trying to escape the world, when Eli approached her. "Hey," he said softly, sitting beside her. "I think things are going to change soon." She looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" He smiled faintly. "Let's just say, people are about to find out the truth." The next morning, the principal made an announcement that silenced the entire assembly hall. It turned out Lydia had taken Mia's photo from the school server, edited it with a phone app, and posted it under a fake account to make it go viral. The evidence was undeniable. She had violated school policy, cyberbullying codes, and data privacy rules. The punishment was severe: suspension, removal from the cheer team, and mandatory counseling. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was what happened after. Mia didn't gloat. She didn't smile when Lydia was humiliated. She didn't even speak a single word to her. Instead, she stood up during the school's anti-bullying assembly, trembling but determined, and shared her story. "I used to think silence was the safest place," she began, her voice shaking slightly. "That if I didn't react, the world would forget about me. But the truth is, silence can be just as loud as cruelty. I almost believed what that picture said about me. Almost. Until I realized that what's unpublishable isn't me, it's the hate people spread behind screens." The hall was completely silent. Even Lydia, sitting in the back row with tears in her eyes, couldn't look up. Mia continued, "To anyone who's been through something like this, I want you to know that your worth doesn't come from what others post about you. It comes from who you are when no one's looking." When she finished, the hall erupted in applause. Not out of pity, but respect. After that day, everything changed. The same classmates who once whispered behind her back started greeting her with small smiles and shy apologies. Teachers began discussing digital ethics and kindness in class. And the school, for the first time, launched a student-led campaign called Unedited Truths, encouraging students to share one real, unfiltered thing about themselves each week. Mia became its first ambassador. Her art, once hidden in sketchbooks, started filling the school's walls. Paintings about courage, self-worth, and forgiveness. Her most famous one showed a cracked mirror, with the reflection still standing tall inside it. Underneath, she wrote, "What breaks you can also rebuild you, if you let it." Even Lydia, after months of silence, walked up to Mia one afternoon. Her eyes were red. Her voice, trembling. "I don't expect you to forgive me," she whispered. "But I wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't realize how cruel I was until I saw what it did to you." Mia looked at her for a long moment, then nodded gently. "Just don't do it to anyone else." There was no revenge. No dramatic payback. Just quiet strength. And sometimes, that's the loudest thing of all. As graduation neared, Mia's story had spread beyond Lincoln High. Local papers wrote about her speech, about how a bullied girl turned her pain into purpose. Colleges sent her letters not just for her grades, but for her voice. And the photo, the one they said was unpublishable? It ended up framed in the school hallway, beside a small plaque that read, "The picture they tried to ruin became the image that changed us all." When asked how she felt about everything that had happened, Mia said something simple, something that made everyone pause. "Maybe life edits us too, but that doesn't mean we stop being real." And maybe that's what courage truly is. Not fighting back with anger, but with truth. Because sometimes, the most beautiful thing you can do after being broken is to show the world you still shine. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Mia's place? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Heartfelt Tales, where every story reminds you that kindness, no matter how small, can change everything.